Wales has the highest rate of teenage pregnancy in Western Europe. Each year, 2,500 girls under the age of 18 fall pregnant. This is the story of two of those young girls. The age at which girls can lawfully have sex is 16. Yet a recent sexual lifestyle survey reveals an increasing number of girls reporting first intercourse underage. Strictly speaking, this is still illegal. Mum-to-be Sally had just celebrated her 16th birthday when she found out she was pregnant.
She's got loads of clothes in here as well. Stuff that my sisters have been, my mum have been buying.
You said she?
Yeah, I'm having a little baby girl, that's my favourite. My mum bought me that.
Her baby girl is due in just 8 weeks' time.
It was on my second scan, they said it's a girl, and I've decided to call her Layla.
Sally lives in a Cardiff hostel for young mums.
I've been in the hostel since end of January when I was 10 weeks pregnant because me and my mum just were not getting on at all. Me and mum just didn't see eye to eye about anything, so we just argue about anything because I suppose it was me really, I was just a bit of a rebellious teenager and I just didn't want to know.
Up until 2 weeks ago, 18-year-old Laura and baby Dylan also lived in a Cardiff hostel for teenage mums. Now she's got her own rented house.
Well, my mum threw me out when I was about 3 months pregnant due to an argument. And that's when I had to go to the homeless section and got put into a hostel straight away. Moving into a hostel, it wasn't really very nice. I got quite depressed at the beginning. I didn't feel like I had anyone around because I've argued with my family, and I just felt isolated, completely alone. I want to put my bookshelf here on my bookcase.
Setting up house on her own has been an expensive business.
And I need a TV stand and a coffee table.
Like many teenage mums, Laura finds living on £40 a week benefit a constant struggle. Unable to pay this month's phone bill, she's been cut off.
Money is definitely a frustration because you know you've only got a very small amount of money that you can't do very much with. You've got a set thing that you've got to do with it every week, like you've got to pay bills. And if I want to go anywhere, go away for a weekend or something, I have to save, you know, a small amount of money, which takes quite a long time to do. And especially for things for buying for my house, because I got a grant, but it didn't go very far.
Sally may live in a hostel, but she has a partner. She's been with 21-year-old Nathan for just over a year.
We've had our ups and downs, but we're doing quite well now. And he's looking forward to being a dad.
I love Sally more than the world, and when she told me that she was pregnant, I jumped for joy. I was absolutely ecstatic, and it's just given me something to drive forward to. I am just driving myself forward to make sure I can look after Sally and my baby.
Contraception is freely available to women of all ages, yet most teenage pregnancies are unplanned.
We were using protection, but now and again it was just get in the mood, and you just don't have time. Otherwise it just spoils the mood, and you just end up being silly and not using anything, which is our own fault really.
Yeah.
Nathan rents a room in a shared house. He has particular reason for wanting to be an active and involved dad.
I do want to be around for Layla when she's born, because I know what it's like growing up without a father in your life, and in some aspects yeah, it can be a good thing because you haven't got this like overlord sort of figure just like coming down on you all the time when you've done something wrong. But you, on the downside, you haven't got a father figure, which I suppose is something everybody needs. You need a mother figure and a father figure. I want to live with Sally and Layla eventually, but we've discussed that and we've decided that we're not going to move in together straight away because although we are committed to each other, Sally wants a bit of independence where she can live on her own and learn by herself, but still have like people helping and supporting her as and when she needs it.
Estranged from her own family who live 5 hours away in North Wales, single parent Laura is keen for Dylan to have the support of his father.
Dylan's father was a friend who I slept with, which was a big mistake because it ruined our friendship because we haven't actually had a nice conversation since. He hasn't made any effort to contact me or, you know, ask me if he can come and see his child. So maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe he just needs time to kind of grasp that he's a father now. Because I know initially he was telling everyone that it wasn't his. But then I think he realised that it was, and, you know, I'm not the sort of person who sleeps around, so he is the father. I'm going to keep trying, even if he doesn't want to know. Maybe his family do, and maybe his mum does. So I will keep trying for Dylan's sake.
With just a few weeks to go until their baby is born, Nathan accompanies Sally to have a look at the Heath Hospital's birthing unit.
Oh, wow.
It's nice here.
Yeah.
That's big.
So this pool fills up really, really quickly within minutes and stays warm for hours. So it's nice. It's nice and big.
Sally is keen that her birth is as natural as possible.
Just to try and keep the atmosphere very calm and relaxed so that you can labour and just let your body labour and you'll be able to do it without using epidurals. You can walk around, you can mobilise.
Can you still have gas and air if you have?
Yeah, you can have gas and air and pethidine. The only thing that you couldn't have in the midwifery-led unit is an epidural.
I don't want one of those anyway.
No. But if you use the water and keep it relaxed, rubbing the back, massaging, you can do it without an epidural.
I'd like to go in the birthing pool and just have a bit of gas and air to ease the pain a bit more.
What about you, Nathan? Would you go in there as well?
I'd probably go in the birthing pool with her because it's something I've been wanting to do because I want to be really, really close to Sally and the baby when the baby's born. And Sally said she's going to breastfeed, so I can help her, like, put the baby straight to the breast.
And cut the cord.
And cut the cord.
It's made me feel really excited.
I feel really excited now. I just can't wait. I want my baby now.
Alone and unsupported by any close family, Laura has lots of time to think about her own and Dylan's future.
The first initial reaction from everyone was, you know, another teenage mum kind of thing. You know, you're going to struggle. You're going to find it really hard. You're not going to have any time to yourself. You're not going to make anything of yourself as people's reactions because you won't be able to go back to college and all the rest of it. You're not going to get a decent job. But I think I look beyond that and think, well, I've got a son now. I can do what I want with the rest of my life. I can go to college in September and put him in a creche. I've got D in drama.
Laura is determined to make up for the time she lost in school. Her parents' RAF lifestyle meant her education was disrupted. She didn't get the results she wanted.
I was at a Catholic boarding school, so it was very strict. But as time went by, I kind of missed my family. I think I got a bit depressed, and I had to leave. Well, I tried to commit suicide there, so they asked me to leave at the time. So I didn't really want to leave. I just wanted things to get a bit better. My current counsellor now, who I'm seeing, she just keeps me in balance, just in case of any reoccurring problems. But on the whole, I don't really feel depressed anymore. I mean, sometimes, you get your off days, but on the whole, I feel I'm quite happy at the moment. Dylan's put a different perspective on my life, and I want to do well now for him, not just for me, but for him as well, so he can be proud of me when he's older as well. So it's definitely made me feel like I want to do something with my life, and I want to make positive changes.
3 weeks before her due date, Sally goes into early labour. She and Nathan are just hours away from meeting their baby girl. Mum Dina has arrived to lend her support.
Hopefully it will go quickly and just get as much pain relief for her as we can and support her as much as we can, but I'm a bit concerned. It's terrible seeing Sally in so much pain, because you want to help and do something, but there's absolutely nothing you can do. And to me, she's still very tiny herself, and she's my little girl, so it's very difficult watching her go through the pain at the moment, but just do everything we can to support her.
Unable to contain their excitement, Sally's sisters Danielle and Kimberly have also turned up at the hospital to see how Sally's doing.
Hey Layla, she's coming out to play. Sally's coping really, really well, but I think when it gets a bit more into it, she's like me, she's going to get very emotional. And when she gets tired, she'll really break down, I think.
That's the worst thing, when you're tired.
And I think she can't handle pain either. She's a little baby like me. She is the baby of the family, and I think she's going to be very emotional, but I think she'll be fine. She'll be good.
Mum will be brilliant with her.
She's got Mum there, so
they should bring those closer together now, my mum and Sally.
When Sally was living at home through 13, 14, 15, we had the most dreadful time. Up until that point, she was a perfect child. We had a really bad 2-3 years. It ended up, unfortunately, that Sally went into the hostel, but it was a very hard decision. But now I look back and it's the right decision.
Laura's future at college is about to be decided.
Hi, good evening. Can I help you?
Hi, I want to go to my enrolment.
You're at LRC. Would you like to take this one with you?
She wants to enrol on a 2-year access course, but before she can do that, she'll have to pass an entrance exam.
I want to go into teaching, and just from being around children all the time, I think it'd be a really enjoyable job.
But it's 2 years since Laura last did any studying. The access course is the equivalent of 3 A-levels, and the college are worried she'll find it hard to keep up with a heavy workload.
I didn't pass because my English was quite poor, because I haven't done anything for 2 years now. So I'm going to have to go back and do GCSEs in maths, chemistry, biology and psychology. Maths because I need it anyway, and psychology and all the rest of them just to brush up on my English a bit. And it's always good to have more qualifications than you need anyway.
The reality of giving birth causes many women to change their minds about pain relief. Exhausted, 16-year-old Sally's labour is not going to plan, and she's decided to have an epidural. Mum Dina and boyfriend Nathan have been at her side for nearly 24 hours.
I haven't seen much of Nathan for a long time because I have blamed him for what's happened to Sally. Unfortunately for him, in our eyes at the moment, that's the way it is. I mean, I'm here today. I'll support them both in every way that I can. My feelings are put behind me for today because the most important thing is that things go well. Sally's safe. I'm with her and the baby gets here safe. It's going to take time. It's taken time for Sally and I to get our lives back on track, you know, and together. With Nathan, it's going to take a lot longer because that's my little girl in there. And I love her with all my heart. And he's going to have to do a lot of proving to me.
All eyes are focused on Sally as her labour progresses. She's only hours away from delivering her baby.
Not long now.
Young girls who leave school without qualifications are more likely to fall pregnant before they reach 18. Laura is about to go back to college to complete her GCSEs. It's her first day, and she's already behind schedule as she rushes Dylan to his new childminder.
I was pulling my hair out at 3:30 this morning, thinking, why did he choose such a night to wake up on the first day of college?
When did you have his last food?
And we just had his breakfast. He just needs his juice.
Okay, have a nice day. You'll be fine.
Bye, Dylan.
Going to college is not just about qualifications. Meeting new people and forming new friendships is all part of the experience.
I'm nervous now that I'm here, and I'm a bit anxious about how the day's going to go. You can just feel the buzz of everyone coming back. Everyone's really excited and ready to go, I think. It's starting to feel a bit anxious that Dylan's not with me anymore. I hope he's okay and that he's not crying.
That's it, come on.
Go on, keep going, keep going. Keep going, that's it.
That's the one, she's coming. That's it.
That's really good.
Go on, good girl.
That's
go
really
on,
good.
go on.
And again, nice deep breath.
Quick, go.
Push down, go on, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going,
girl.
hard as you can. Go on,
Go,
this should be the last one.
Go, come on.
That's it, and here she
Here
comes.
she comes.
Woo! Hello. And the time is 7 minutes past 11. Wonderful. Well done. It's quite tough.
After more than 24 hours in labour, Sally delivers a baby girl.
Oh, bloody.
That's lovely.
She looks bigger than I thought she was.
Baby Layla has arrived safely. Her proud parents are lost for words.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, if you sit up.
Absolutely overwhelming. Mum and Dad.
Looking after Dylan on £40 a week is not easy for single mum Laura. She's had a letter from the Child Support Agency. From now on, Dylan's father will have £5 deducted from his weekly benefit check.
Dylan's father has denied being the father, and he's also denied a DNA test. So, because he won't prove that he's not the father, he has to pay. And because he's on benefits himself, he's not really paying me that much. But until he kind of proves that he's not the father, which he can't, then he's going to have to pay. He pays £5 a week, which is then taken off my kind of weekly benefit anyway, so I don't gain any more money until I start working, and he starts working, then the money will kind of go up dramatically.
Like many teenagers, neither Laura nor Dylan's father thought about the consequences of having unprotected sex. Laura's pregnancy has ruined their friendship, but for Dylan's sake, Laura still wants to establish contact with his father and his family. She hopes that writing to Dylan's grandmother will help towards this.
I'm writing to her to see whether she wants to get in touch with me and Dylan. I know that she's unclear of whether or not Dylan is biologically part of her life. If his family rejects me, then I'm kind of left out in the cold on my own, really. And Dylan hasn't got any family around here at all, and then it'll just be me and him and nobody else. And I mean, it will be quite hard, and I don't know how I'll kind of explain that to him when he's older.
The experience of giving birth for first-time mums rarely goes to plan. Baby Layla's early arrival has left Sally in a state of shock.
I don't know what I really feel. It's just like just kind of happy to see her and just glad she's here. And it's just really weird getting used to the fact that she's mine.
Oh, she's tense, you know.
The hospital is pleased with Sally and Layla's progress.
Very warm.
Proud grandmother Dina has arrived to take Sally and her new baby home to the hostel.
A bit nervous actually, because I'd rather that she had a bit of time just to get a bit more settled with her. It's a bit quick. She's not really a day old yet, well, just. I'm sure they'll be fine. Baby seems quite contented and settled, so perhaps Sally will get more rest at home, we'll see.
Laura is coping well with the combined pressure of student life and parenthood. Becoming a first-time mum at any age is exhausting. It's all the harder if you're a teenager on your own.
Practically, it might seem easy, but mentally, it's just really a struggle, and everything is just centred around your baby. You've got to think about the baby all the time, and everything just changes, and it is really hard. You can't live your life how you used to live it. I think I'm a more positive person altogether now, because when things do get me down, I kind of have to have a think about where I want to go in life, and you know, think about Dylan and think, right, we've got to do this now, you know, no messing around. You've got to sort it out and do it. No matter who's going to help you, in the end, you know it's all got to be you. If I could have turned the clocks back, I would have definitely had Dylan after I'd finished my education, purely because it's such a struggle. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to do it, it just means it's 10 times harder.
Oh, you're alright.
16-year-old Sally still lives in the hostel for young mums. When she finds it hard to cope, she can always visit her mum, Dina, for a bit of extra support.
Oh, bless you. Good job, Nan.
Now 6 weeks old, Layla takes up all of Sally's energy, and she's finding she has less time for Nathan.
Our main problem is, like, I'm getting tired, so I get stressed out with him very easily.
Yeah.
But I think we care a lot about each other. But
I don't know if we're going to end up together, like, in a few years. But I'm definitely not going to move in with him.
Got enough on your plate at the moment with Layla?
Yeah.
The future for Nathan and Sally, they are very young. They've got a very big responsibility of a baby at a very young age, which can put a lot of pressure on a relationship for people much older, let alone a young couple. So I'm afraid I don't know how things will turn out in the future. Yeah, because they've both got things they still want to do and achieve. And I don't know, it depends how they work that out between them or decide to go their separate ways.
Laura also has her eye on the future. With a letter to Dylan's grandmother ready to send, she's keen to see contact established as soon as possible.
I hope that she does read my letter and kind of think about Dylan, and I just hope she contacts me in some way.
Laura is hoping her efforts will pay off for Dylan's sake. Relationships formed as teenagers rarely last into adulthood. 16-year-old Sally and 21-year-old Nathan have hit a rocky patch.
When she was first born, we were getting on great because I think, it was a new baby and everything.
Yeah, a new baby. Just
I think they were both
expecting the world.
Yeah, and then we both started getting stressed out, and we were arguing quite a bit.
Yeah,
and so
this ideal view in our heads before she was born. So,
and now we're on a bit of a break. With the age difference, Nathan's like been out and done all the clubbing and drinking and knocking out with his friends, and because I'm still young, I haven't done that yet, and you don't understand that I want to go and do that. That's one of the reasons we've been arguing, because I just want to, like once a month just go out clubbing with my friends and, just have fun. I know for a fact that if we didn't have Layla, I wouldn't be with him. I know it's nasty, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, that is nasty.
Sally and Nathan may not have a future as a couple, but they have decided to work together as parents. In an ideal world, Laura would like Dylan to have the support of his father and his grandmother.
I'm hoping that his mum will come and see Dylan, so that he's got some extended family to kind of spend time with. So that he knows it's not just me in his life, he has got other people that love him as well. If she doesn't contact me, then I know that she's kind of rejected me and Dylan. So that's going to be quite hard, because his dad's already kind of rejected him. So it's going to be hard either way.
Bringing up Dylan alone has given Laura a maturity beyond her teenage years. She feels that she's done all that she can. Since sending the letter, Dylan's father and grandmother have now established contact with Laura and Dylan.